Alrighty, Chris. Thank you for taking the time to share your experience with Career Bootcamp. I'm so excited for everyone tuning in to just hear about it. So, what brought you to this program? What interested you, and what got you to make the jump?
Thank you as well. So I have not actually been like actively job searching like this for almost 10 years now. In many ways I felt like I know what to do, but it's a different era now,
Yeah.
especially with so many other factors in how technology's progressed and how the global job market and everything is. So I felt that I just wasn't getting enough volume out. I also felt like I didn't really know if I was doing the right strategies.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if my resume was in a good format. I wasn't ultimately I wasn't getting bites on my applications that I sent out, and I wasn't sure if it was because with ATS filters the way they are now, if there was something with my resume that was a flag, or I don't know if I was just looking at the wrong jobs. Like nothing was connecting. So I wanted to talk to somebody or people, a group of people that had much more recent experience in this regard that could guide me through it. And on another note, like I said, since I hadn't been like interviewing for so while, there was a little rustiness with my confidence. So working with professionals really helped to boost that.
Got it. Got it. And that's great. I was for everyone tuning in, I was your career mentor, which is definitely a pleasure,
Mhm.
and have seen you grow into it. And so, my next question for you is how was your experience from the mentor sessions to your career agent in those applications as well?
I found that very useful. Um, I met with Mohammed first, and he gave me a good entry point into some basics to point out, some broad strokes of, this is, what you're doing in this regard is good, and what you're doing in this regard could maybe use
Mm,
some tweaks. Actually, getting together with Linda to do the coaching sessions was definitely helpful because we dug deeper into looking at my history and how to articulate the things to actually stand out. And I must say, the mock interview we did was really fantastic. It is hard to overstate how useful it is to have somebody give you feedback who you're not
mm,
actively trying to get a job from. Obviously, as everybody knows, in a real interview, you rarely get feedback on what you did wrong or did right.
yeah.
So to actually talk to somebody who would tell you, directly, this answer doesn't quite reflect the best. So let's word it this way, or just to even just try out a couple answers and then in the after the fact just kind of reflect and say, maybe that wasn't the best example, or I
Mm.
think I could have made that stand out a lot better. Um, so yeah, and beyond that, the continual support that I got, being able to ask questions on, just through the chat to see if there was little things here and there that definitely helped, if nothing else, than just to uh, give some peace of mind. But no, definitely useful information, but still, just it's very helpful to have someone else to bounce ideas off of.
Got it. Beautiful. In terms of the application process, how did you like that, and how was that experience for you?
It was good. I At a certain point, I was also joining in, looking at doing my own search
Mhm.
and finding any that stood out to me. And I would kind of wait to see if the assistant, I don't know the exact title, but to see if there was any jobs that I found that he didn't quite find, to
Yeah.
throw them in there. At first, there was definitely a wider range of ideas we were looking at, and as we continued, we narrowed down what was actually getting some responses and what I felt like I actually would feel qualified for. But it was useful because, I mean, every day we had applications or postings that were brought up and we were sending an application. So again, keeping that ball moving is important in this. It's entirely a numbers game. So, it was useful in terms of accountability. If it was just me doing it myself, there might have been a couple days where I felt like, I just got busy or did something else. But to continuously every day have that going was very useful. Um, yeah, I think that was very good.
Okay. Awesome. Now we're standing at the other end of the process, which is the
Hmm.
results that we want, right? So we've helped you land 8 interviews and a job offer that was 50K above your target.
Hmm.
I'm curious to hear what was your initial reactions? Was this a surprise to you? And any other thoughts that you've had?
Sure. So first off, actually, since we've even ended, I've gotten two more emails for interview requests,
Whew.
which I thankfully been able to respond with and
Yeah.
say, I appreciate your consideration, but I actually just took an offer. So up front, didn't get as many. I definitely went into this feeling like I would be getting more responses. Again, I don't know if I would necessarily point towards just the tough job market right now,
Mm,
or
yeah.
what. Maybe just something about my resume wasn't landing right. But I was feeling a bit at first like like, come on, there's got to be more. As we
Mm,
went on, and perhaps because we really narrowed the focus on what kind of jobs we're looking at, in the last batch, the last, third or half of whatever, the number of interviews requested did definitely increase. So overall, I think looking at my numbers, it's pretty much where I expected. Um, but it kind of it scaled up as we went on. It was much more towards the latter half.
mm,
In terms of the actual monetary amount, I mean, that wasn't really my primary goal in this.
mm,
I was more so just looking for a reasonable amount that I could be safe with and have a suitable job that was actually going to be stable. Um, but I'm very happy with the fact that it was much more. I mean, I only was, with all of the interviews, I only did get one offer.
mm,
So it's not like I chose the job that was paying more. I mean, if this job had offered me less, I still would have been happy with it. But the fact that it was this high was amazing. I mean, it's going to be like so, life changing,
yeah.
to be able to really kickstart my savings and everything in the next steps of my life. Um, yeah, I mean, again, I don't think I highlighted it before, but one of the number one or the number one aspect I was looking for in a job was being able to be remote. That's just
Mm,
something that's very important for me in this time of my life. So that's why I say, like, it wasn't so much about the money. If it was, a reasonable amount and but allowed me to work remote, that would be great. So to be able to get both of those was like astounding.
yeah. Ugh, it's all like music to my ears, like more money, more
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Just awesome. So, last but definitely not least, A, would you recommend us
Mhm.
to, other professionals? And then I also want to ask, what would you tell the person watching your testimonial who's thinking about it, who's unsure?
Sure, I definitely recommend this. Again, for one of the most, well, the expertise, this sheer numbers. I mean, I could be sending out applications simultaneously as you guys are, so we could just
Mm,
get a lot more sent out that way. That it's hard to replicate without on your own. Um, Again, though, I mean, you were able to find jobs that I was not finding on my own. In some ways, what we did here was not anything I couldn't have done myself,
mm,
but to have the um, confidence building aspect, to know that um, you know I have these strengths that I should be very proud of and I should really highlight in myself, was very valuable. But yeah, you guys found jobs that I couldn't have found on my, or that I didn't find on my own. So that was definitely useful. I would say, what else would I tell to other folks? Um, like um, the combination of things is greater than the sum of its parts. Like that kind of
mm.
how those different factors can impact and compound on each other
Yeah.
can be really useful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Chris. And I'm so glad you brought that up because your situation was kind of ideal, like, in the same sense of, hey, we went forward with someone else, but then here's your role. And it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
And I think within this job market, that's phenomenal. So
yeah.
the team and I had a great time just learning more about you, seeing you grow and helping you land at this role. We wish you all the best. And
Thank
thank
you
you
so
again
much.
for taking the time to share your experience with
Thank you again. Your support and everything just really helped me these past few months.